Okay, hello everyone. Welcome and thank you for joining us today. Really good to see some familiar faces and names, I should say, showing up here on the attendee list. So good to see you. Thank you for spending some time with us today. My name is Brad Cooper, and I'm joined by Lee Reams. Lee, go ahead and say hello.
Hey, Brad. Thanks for putting this together. I am excited to talk marketing with our tax and accounting pros, and I'm very happy the sweltering heat has finally subsided. So it's actually a beautiful day here in Newport.
That's right. Very nice day here in Orange County after 100 plus temperatures, 110, not too far away. So yeah, very good to be with all of you. We are thrilled in particular to talk about building a five-star practice. It's something near and dear to our hearts here at ClientWise, and we're really looking forward to it. This is something we work on every day with our clients, and it's not only something we're passionate about, it really is probably the most critical aspect of a thriving, growing, and modern practice. And so we are really excited to talk to you today about building a five-star practice. And so, and it's also something that's going to help you in the long term and financially and in so many ways. So we're really excited about doing that. So let's go ahead and get into some housekeeping first of all. So this is going to be, it's planned to be about a 45 to 50-minute presentation. We do plan to leave some time at the end for questions. If we go a little long and you want to stay to hear some of the questions, please feel free to do so. Otherwise, we do plan on trying to keep it about 45 to 50 minutes. And if you do stay to the end of the presentation, we have some really special offers exclusively for you to take advantage of. And if you stay all the way through and you participate, we'll have some polls here. If you do ask any questions, I do already see a few questions come in here, then we have some prizes for some of our more active participants. The webinar is going to be recorded, so it will be available soon by playback on video and audio, so you will be able to watch it again. You will be able to share it with colleagues and friends who may not have been able to attend the live demonstration, but that will be available as well, and you'll get an email with some more information on that. If you do have questions, you are in listen-only mode for the audio. However, you should see a questions panel on your GoToWebinar software there, your application. I'm going to show a screenshot here of that in a second, but you can go ahead and use that. We won't answer the questions until the end, but we'll go ahead and collect them as we go. This presentation of the webinar is geared specifically for small tax and accounting practices. However, any business or practice should be able to benefit from the tips and strategies we have. Obviously, our main clients for ClientWise and TaxBuzz are the small and tax and accounting firms, but this should apply to anyone. And just a couple of disclaimers. So your mileage may vary. So we are going to show some clients who have 90 five-star reviews and fantastic programs and doing very well. Obviously, not everyone does that well. And then also, we're not attorneys. So please consult your local, state, federal, governing boards on specific ethics and legal issues. So if you're suing somebody on Yelp or you have specific legal questions, we're not going to be able to answer those. Please consult your legal counsel or the appropriate representatives on that. Okay, and then so this is a screenshot, hopefully, of what you see on your GoToWebinar. You should see a questions box there, and you can go and enter any questions you have, and we will enter those later on. And you should be, there's two options you also have for the audio. One is to select the mic and the speakers, and that'll go through your computer, but really I recommend the telephone to call in on a separate phone line. That usually is the better audio. If you select telephone, then you need to dial into the dial-in number and enter your access code, and then you should be in. And I also, via chat, sent a link to the Citrix website, which has lots of helpful articles if you have any trouble with the audio or presentation and video. So what you're going to learn today. So we're going to start off by giving you a little bit of background on word-of-mouth marketing, because word-of-mouth really is sort of the genesis and the origin of reputation management, which is kind of the fancy word we use these days to describe it. But Lee's going to go through some background, and then we're going to talk about some very specific and practical ways that you can generate positive online testimonials and reviews and start building yourself into a five-star practice. So we're going to go through some very specific things that you can do today. We're also going to talk a little bit about avoiding negative reviews or online reviews. That is one of the questions we get very often. People seem to have a fear about that in particular, but we're also going to talk to you about steps you can take if you get any. You're going to learn, though, that the ideal state is to get lots of positive ones before you get any negative ones, and we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about review websites and other aspects of your online presence, your online marketing, because that really does tie in to your reputation, to reviews, and then there are some specific websites that we're going to mention and talk about and what you should do there. And then we're going to talk about next steps for you specifically in beginning the journey if you haven't already begun it. Many of the folks I see here online already have done a good job in building up 5 stars and reviews and good reputation for the practice. But if you're just starting out, we're going to give you some tips and we're going to help you along the way. Real quick, just a brief background. Again, I see some clients online, so many folks I do see know us, but for those who don't, ClientWise and TaxBuzz, we really are focused, and we believe in independent tax and accounting professionals. We really believe that they are the backbone of our economy, that they are the best ones to serve individuals and small businesses to grow their business with the business and really to help them realize their dreams. So that's why over the past 10 years, we've really built some technologies and services to help small practices like all the folks I see here on the webinar to grow and to serve your client base. And we work hard every day to safeguard and grow our clients' online reputation. So that's a big part of what we do in helping to manage reputation. And so it's through technologies as well as services. And then we have our site called taxbuzz.com, which you'll hear lots more about. And we are happy to talk to you about any aspects of digital marketing. So whether it's content marketing, social media, websites, email newsletters, these are all things that we do for our clients, and we'd love to help you if you have questions about any of these other aspects today. And so backing up though, education is a big part of what we believe in as well. And so sharing what we've learned through the years, amongst us we have decades of experience, we have lots of clients who we've been able to help. And so a big part of what we believe in is education as well, not only for some technical things like specific tax education, but also on marketing and digital marketing. And so we have modules, similar modules, that are related to different aspects of digital marketing. And so today, we're going to talk about reputation building and developing a 5-star practice. And so we have other future topics. We have not only webinars, but CPE. We have in-person seminars. We have blogs. If you haven't seen it already, please check out clientwise.com. I believe it's clientwise.com/blog for our blog on ClientWise, our TaxBuzz blog. Lots of great education and topics there that you can learn more about. We have some great white papers as well that we just released that are very helpful, and we can get you some of those. Next month, we're going to tackle another topic, and I saw a couple of questions already come in on social media. We'll touch on that a little bit today, but you'll really want to sign up for July's webinar, and I'll have more details on that and the date and everything related to social media coming up here soon. Just a real quick note on our presenters. And so, Lee, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Sure. Thanks, Brad. So a little background on myself. And again, there's a lot of names here that I recognize. I have been working with independent tax and accounting professionals for over 20 years now, previously with our company Image One, which was primarily a print company. We were a content company. We created client newsletters, printed brochures, privacy policies. We were one of the biggest folder manufacturers in the country for a while, and we saw the changes and dynamics in the digital world, and sold Image One to Greatlands about 7 years ago and started our journey of mastering the digital side so we could kind of stay ahead of the curve as far as the technology and keeping our professionals, the top of the top, getting ranked and really helping them grow and continue to grow. So excited to talk here today, and I'll let Brad kind of introduce himself real quick.
Thanks, Lee. Oh, we just went ahead a little too far. Yeah, so, and as I mentioned, Lee, okay, hopefully I didn't just drop off.
Go ahead, Brad, you're there.
Okay, good. Okay. Yeah, let me just go back on the slide here. Okay. So yeah, as I mentioned, one thing I wanted to mention about Lee, he has been a leader in the accounting, marketing, and technology industry for a long time, and there's lots of great content he produces. I can't even keep up with it, so please read his articles, lots of it on on the blog. Just about myself, I've about 20 years of digital marketing experience working specifically with practices. So in particular, tax and accounting practices with ClientWise, and I'm an executive here, but also with law firms and dentists and doctors, even restaurants, and my experience is predominantly around technology and marketing for smaller practices and smaller firms. So a lot of what I've done over the years is exactly what we're going to talk about today, is building your online presence and specifically around reputation management. And so for either of us, our LinkedIn is there. We're both pretty active on LinkedIn, so if you want to connect with us there, please feel free to do so. And then, if you have any specific questions for either one of us, go ahead and shoot us an email. Okay, I'm going to turn it over, and we're going to get started. And turn it over to
All
Lee.
right. Thanks, Brad. So the basics, let's talk about the old days. And I think the old days are not really old days in the fact that word of mouth is still the primary way tax accounting professionals get new clients. The old day, offline advertising helped boost this through yellow page ads, direct mail. We used to print almost a million postcards a year, and things definitely kind of transformed over the years as electronic communication started working better. So, but no matter what we say today, word of mouth is referred clients are always the best source of clients. So anything we talk about as far as the new way of word of mouth works is not to say that, yes, we know all of your practices are built on word of mouth, but the way the word of mouth occurs is just different. So the old days, the offline word of mouth was client newsletters, your client brochures. We used to have a referral placards that people would put on their desks. And these all worked very well to help strengthen your client relationships and really keep your name in front of clients. What this did is created more referrals. Everything was designed to keep your name in front as much as possible, that anytime a life event occurred, anytime someone was actively asking somebody for a referral, your name was top of mind. What has changed is word of mouth and your online reputation. So my best example to give is if you do receive a word of mouth referral the old-fashioned way where someone calls somebody, I'm just saying 90% of the time, they're going to still Google your name. And what they see on those Google results is really going to dictate whether or not they call you. And if everything looks good, it also helps in kind of the conversion and setting kind of the guidelines for, what your relationship should be like. So meaning, do they read reviews that show that you're responsive? Do you answer calls quickly? Do you solve problems? Things like that. And these verified reviews have a really good way of painting a picture for prospects as they come in. So what they're looking at today is review websites like Yelp, TaxBuzz, Google, obviously Google My Business, Facebook. The transformation has occurred where review websites, kind of these marketplaces, are starting to get indexed even higher than local websites. So it's harder for you as a professional with your leereams.com website perhaps to be ranked on page 1 of Google anymore, where the user experience, people want to be able to compare and contrast multiple professionals when they shop. So a lot of these review websites are starting to dominate the search results. Obviously, email, text, the electronic communications, people ask their friends and colleagues, who they're working with, who they recommend. Mobile apps. The world is no longer just in the browser. So mobile, there's a reason, there's so much money being spent online and so much time being spent on online. It's in these mobile apps. So a lot of times people are having conversations that you can't even see. And that kind of goes into the social media side. So these are kind of the basics, and I'm going to kind of lead Brad into the polling question number 1.
Okay, thanks, Lee. Yeah, so we're going to do a couple of these throughout the presentation, and it's just a fun way to interact. It sort of also shows where we're all at in our understanding and our sort of acceptance of the impact of reputation management and what we all think about that. So when I launch this, it may change your screen a little bit just to give you a little advance notice. It usually pops out a new window on your screen, and that just allows you to answer the poll question. So what I'm going to do here is just show it to you first. So have you personally, and these are fairly easy questions, so there's really no right or wrong answer. However, if you do get it wrong, we are going to have you after class, so you can come to me after class if you get it wrong. But these should be really super easy and obvious. So the question is, have you personally ever found a good product or service online? using online reviews. So whether it's a movie or a book or a restaurant or a plumber or just any type of service, the question is, have you ever found one online that you've liked, or turned out to be a great restaurant, turned out to be a great movie, it's a great professional that you've hired. So I'm going to go ahead and just launch this poll question, and you should be able to answer it. And go ahead and do that. We'll just give it a quick minute here for everybody, and I'm just curious to see the results of how many people have found a great product or service by reading online reviews. Okay. And there's also a couple options there. I don't use the internet, which if you're on this webinar, I don't think you can answer that. And then there's one, why am I here, which again, looks like we're all in the right place. Okay, this is great. Perfect. See these coming in. Fantastic. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and close the polling now, and I'm going to share the results with you. And this is pretty interesting. And the reason it's interesting, let's go ahead and share it. So hopefully you can see that. So 91% of you have used online reviews to find a great product or service. And we're going to tell you why that number is so interesting here on the next slide. But I'm going to go ahead and hide those results. So 91%, there's about 9% who said no, that they haven't yet used the internet for reviews. So I'm going to go ahead and hide it, and then we'll go on to the next slide and Lee.
Okay, great. So one of the, let me just get this forwarded here. We use some of this data, so whatever we say is, you need to back it up on statistics. And I think one of the biggest things to know is 92% of consumers read online reviews, and we just tested at 91. So close enough, right? The star rating is the #1 factor used to judge a business. And I want to throw this out there because I don't know if we cover it perfectly. Just because you have a 1 or 2 star does not necessarily mean if you've attracted enough 5-star reviews to really hurt you long term. It kind of gives more validity to the quality of the reviews, and it makes it more authentic. 13% of consumers, though, only 13% would consider a business that has a 1 or 2-star rating. So basically, if you're not working on your reputation, if you're not proactively trying to address the concerns of the reason you're getting negative reviews, you're going to have a very tough time growing your practice. And the biggest thing here is, and it's kind of a common sense thing, but it's nice to back it up through some surveys that Bright Local did. 70% say positive reviews make them trust a local business more. And I would tend to, in my own world, if I read something and see real life experiences, it kind of gives me, I can see through the salesy side of things, and it gives me a little more validity that what I'm looking to buy or what I'm looking to use someone for, they'll actually be able to deliver. So online reviews, more reasons to care about them. And these are some things that perhaps you don't think about, but online reviews do increase website conversion. So if you are not transparent or you do not show testimonials versus a company that does, it makes it much easier for someone who is a new prospect to get to know you. That you will convert more prospects to clients if you are active with online reviews. A big issue that we've seen, and this is more anecdotal, there's a lot of statistics about it, but I would say to you there's not one client that we have optimized their review or their reputation side that is not very highly ranked page 1 Google results on the keywords they're looking for. It is a factor in the Google algorithm, and it's kind of obvious. I mean, Google wants to show people that are the most qualified. They therefore will take reviews as kind of one of the variables that says, hey, that this company has a lot of reviews, they must be better positioned versus someone who doesn't. So it is, there's some differences in opinion of how much it matters, but as far as our practice with our customers, those that actually do get reviews, their brands are ranked much higher overall, not just their website, but you'll see their brands on the search engines in a higher ranking. The idea of reviews where you have the offline word of mouth, the old-fashioned word of mouth, is that it just validates, again, what a referrer is saying about you. It makes the consumer, the prospect, more comfortable that you are who they say, what you say you are. I think this is a big one that people sometimes don't realize, but and you do maybe in your own market where there might be someone who is perceived as the leader in a specific niche. So maybe they work in entertainment and they get all the entertainment clients because they're perceived to be better than you, even though you have the same skills and could do a better job than perhaps they're doing. But what it does when you have a high-end online reputation, it allows you to command higher fees. We all want to make more money by working less, right? So maybe spending the time and investing the effort this year in building up that 5-star ranking is a much bigger thing to your bottom line than you think. A secondary thing is kind of being more selective, meaning if you can kind of pick and choose, if your funnel's so large that you have so many clients coming through that want to work with you, you can, and we have several clients that have had to shut down because they have gained so many clients that they're shutting down early where they can't accept new clients, and it's purely, or at least one of the main reasons is because of their excellent reputation. Great reviews can be the difference between high growth or shutting down. I don't want to get that negative, but it basically, there are businesses, and we see it on TaxBuzz, obviously, because we see the reviews every day, that really struggle, that I think are not going to be in business long, and they attract a lot of 1-star reviews, and I don't know if they don't care or if they really are doing a poor service, but it is a big difference maker here. Brad, I'll go ahead and lead into you here with poll question 2.
Okay, very good, thank you. Okay, again, another super easy one. It's sort of a little bit on the opposite end of the spectrum, a little bit of a different type of a question. And so it's conversely, have you ever had a bad experience with a product or service from a referral from a family member or friend, somebody who told you about something, like maybe they sent you to a dentist that looks like that guy on the right, or they sent you to a plumber who did what that guy on the left is doing to your pipes, or a restaurant where the guy in the middle, saying, what, are you kidding me? You sent me here. So that's the question. And this is not online reviews, but has a friend or a family member or, sort of done you wrong. And again, these are meant to be somewhat easy and obvious and prove a point. But if you haven't, that's fine too. So I'm going to go ahead and launch that. And again, it should open a new window, and you can go ahead and respond, whether you've had a friend or a family member who's sort of done you wrong and sent you to a restaurant that was awful or something like that. And if you don't have any friends, you can choose that option as well. Or if you like anything that anybody sends you to, you can go ahead and choose that as well. I'm just going to give it about 15 more seconds. Just seeing those come in. Okay, we're going to go ahead and close it. Okay, so we'll go ahead and share those results. A little bit less strong in the last one in terms of the results. So 68% say yes, 30% say no. They haven't really. All of their friends and family always send them great stuff. They never get any bad, things from their friends and family. And one who is really, and we'll talk to you after too, because we'd love to talk to you about what we do for the one who said they like anything. So, and this is sort of the perception we see, and we show these two for a reason. We do have clients who tell us, occasionally who tell us, yeah, you know what, I don't think my clients are using online reviews. They don't really use them. Or they'll say, you know what, people just use offline reviews. They just I only get clients through referrals. Well, I mean, this is changing, and this is changing in a big way, where not only can you be done wrong, but you can have something invalidated online through online reviews, and people really do trust online reviews. So thank you for participating in that. I'm going to go ahead and hide it, and then we're going to start about the 5 specific steps now. So 5 steps. So we're trying to get you to be a 5-star practice. So we have 5 steps to build your 5-star practice. And so these are going to be, some are going to be easy, some are going to be a little bit more time-consuming and something you have to plan for in advance. There's definitely going to be some very specific things that you can do right after this call, or in fact during this webinar if you have a moment. These are a few of our clients who we've worked with, and they are 5-star practices. So Lina's tax team has 80-some 5-star reviews, and Jim Batten on the right there has 90 5-star reviews. Karen Drescher has done a fantastic job, and we're going to tell you, some of the secrets and tips and tricks to help you as well. So I'm going to start with step 1. Over to Lee.
All right, thanks. So this is kind of the most obvious, but it starts with you. And what that means is, and we see it in the reviews on TaxBuzz, is the words responsive care about me like friends. Those are the kind of relationships that the 5-star practices are doing, and it really they're providing a service that's worthy of 5-star reviews. So meaning asking or requesting reviews or trying to promote or attract them, and not being responsive, not calling people back, not if there's a problem, being transparent about it. Those are things that really kind of hold people back. So we kind of say, do you love and excel at what you do? And I would say on the whole, most of the clients we talk to really do, they're really passionate about what they do. They care about the lives of their individual clients. They care about the success of their business clients, and it shows in the service that you provide. And I think it's a trait or something that is really noticed by your client base. And the people that are more passionate about it, I just see they attract more reviews. It's obvious. And what it does is, in choosing clients and what type of work you want, they have the ability again to say, I don't want to do stuff that's half-assed. I don't want to do services that I don't believe in. And it kind of is part of what I would call being that responsive, friendly, honest, and transparent with clients. And an example of that is, you all get busy, especially during tax season or any corporate deadlines, and clients might be contacting you via email. I've heard, oh, that's a nuisance, I don't respond to email. The reality is, if you're not available right now, you can just say, hey, you know what, I will work on this, I'll have an answer for you in 24, 48 hours. Just give some sort of response. And it really goes a long ways on the expectations. And they know you're busy, and it actually kind of shows, hey, I'm working with someone who's in demand. So that's issue one. And then if you don't know an answer to it, be honest. If you made a mistake or you need to work with a client, be transparent. These are things that people genuinely care about. We're all human. They get it, but not addressing it or not talking about it is kind of a flaw, and it hurts you. This one to me is one of and the reason I bring up Know Your Stuff is we do have a continuing education product line. We're not trying to pitch that at all right now, but the issue and the feedback sometimes is a lot of people look at it as a huge nuisance. I have to get my CPE this year, versus, we live in a very complex industry and vertical, and there's stuff that's changing all year round, and not knowing your stuff, not taking continuing education seriously, I think is a huge deal, and your clients can tell. I mean, and the more you know, I would say the better the end product. So I kind of say to those that sometimes think it's a nuisance, think of it as, well, it would probably save me a lot more time if I was more up to date, year round versus, doing the end of the year and that's it kind of thing. So this is kind of a comment there. Hire carefully is, you might be doing all of these things where it starts with you, but if you have a weak link in anywhere in the chain, it's going to be a big factor. Where we see this the most is in inbound leads or inbound phone calls, meaning not having a voicemail, not returning calls quickly, and it just rings and rings and rings. Who knows how many leads you're missing because you're not putting on the front end, whether it be some automation or just the people. So really watching what everyone's doing, I think, is a very important thing. And that kind of runs into design and run smooth client-facing operations. And what we mean here is, and even at ClientWise, since I brought Brad on, the real goal here was for us to grow. And in order to grow, we had to develop processes that really kind of walked clients through, whether it be the sales channel through the onboarding to the customer success and kind of the ongoing support, and really looking at your own practice the same way where, here's how we start an engagement. This is how we run an engagement. This is what we do after the fact. So having processes in place that, integrate asking for reviews and integrate, some other follow-up, I think is kind of a key in long-term success. But again, I really believe it starts with you.
Okay, so I'll take you into step number 2, which is building your brand online. And so you may not see how this directly relates to 5-star reviews, but once you have processes, what you want your firm to be, you start serving clients, you know your stuff, you're responsive, all of these things. We want that to come through. We want you to demonstrate your expertise. We want you to differentiate yourself. These are all things across the internet that are going to help you in your practice. And so a couple of key questions before you start down this path. What is your unique offering? What is your unique selling proposition? How are you different than the 10 other CPAs or tax professionals or practices that somebody will find in a Google search when they look online? You know, how are you different? What makes you stand out? And then who is your ideal client? These types of questions will really help guide you on the rest of your online presence and your online brand, and that includes things like professional, very information-rich websites, a blog where you demonstrate and showcase your expertise, things like optimizing for search engines. That actually not only ranking there and showing there, but what shows there when somebody types. You know, it's great to get some rankings, but what's there? Email newsletters, your social media, your profile pages on different review sites. Do you have videos? All of these, what we call core marketing things, online marketing things, are essential to have in place even before you start building your reviews, because people are going to visit, as Lee said, even if they get a referral from a friend to you, they're going to go to Google and type in your name or your practice name, and what are they going to find? Are they going to find a professional website? Are they going to see you active with a blog? Are they going to see you on social media? Do you have a video introducing yourself? All of these things are going to be a key part of, you know, launching into building a 5-star practice. And then if you can, or if you have somebody like us to help you getting more active online, you know, participating in groups, being active on social media, all of these things help you build your brand online. And then as a key part of step number 2 in building your brand, one of the key aspects is the review sites and these directories and marketplace sites. So in particular, obviously, we're fond of TaxBuzz, and it is the #1 site for independent tax and accounting professionals to be found locally. We have millions of visits to the site, as Lee said, and we're getting a lot of traffic to it. So, you know, if anything, especially for the tax and accounting, it's not just tax, it's accounting, bookkeeping. We have financial professionals, we have attorneys and law firms on the site. So this is free. We can help you get reviews, we can help build out your profile, but you can see Spencer's here. He has a real nice, I think he might even be on our webinar, at least I think he might have joined. Excuse me, Spencer, if you're on, maybe we'll have you on and tell everyone how, you know, what you've done to get your 5-star practice. But anyway, so a nice photo, he is verified, he has got some blog posts there, he's got great content, you know, breaks down his specialties. All of these things, you know, as you can do it, and we can help you on TaxBuzz in particular to build out a nice looking profile even before you get reviews, before you send clients to these pages to provide reviews for you there. TaxBuzz is free. If anything, right after this call, if you don't already have a TaxBuzz profile built, please build one. You can, if you don't find yourself, you can build one, we can do it for you. Okay. Google is another key place where clients can come and find you and review you. So a Google business page, it's also, you know, you can find it on Maps or a Maps page. There is a little more technical specifics there to get that, to claim it, to verify your address. Again, those are things with certain programs we have here that we can help you with and do for you, but that would be my #2 recommendation on a review site to go claim and build out. Yelp you can definitely do as well. We are not going to recommend that you go get reviews on Yelp, and we can talk about that a little bit more later. We actually have a blog post on why that is, but at least claim it and get some content there. You can obviously do LinkedIn, you should have a Facebook page, and then there are literally, if you are a registered tax preparer, if you're a CPA, if you're an LLC, your business information literally will go out to hundreds, if not thousands, of websites, and I realize that's a little daunting to go claim and update and make sure all of those different places are accurate. So we actually have a service that allows us to do that for you, where we go and we protect your data and make sure it's correct, and we claim all those profiles for you. So again, ask us if you want more information about that. But these are the core ones that you should get out there, claim, and make them look pretty, so to speak, before you send clients there and you go out and build your 5-star practice. Okay, over to Lee.
All right, so this is where I usually kind of say, well, why is it that people think that it's not okay to go ask and try to, you know, attract reviews? And I think a lot of that starts with Yelp, and Yelp started kind of this category, if you think about it, and their policy is, you know, we want it to be organic reviews of businesses. The problem is Yelp has become somewhat of a kind of a foodie critic site, and it's become like a social site, and when accounting or tax clients review on Yelp, unless it's in San Jose or someplace where they're much more active, a lot of the reviews are suppressed by their algorithm, meaning if a client of yours has only put 1 or 2 reviews on Yelp, they might not give it as much credibility, and that's why sometimes the Yelp issue where they're hiding your reviews, it comes up. So that's why we suggest, well, there's a lot of easier ways to build up other review sites that will outrank your Yelp profile, and those reviews aren't suppressed. So that's kind of the background on that. But people ask, okay, well, where, when, and how to ask. The obvious thing is ask right up front, and it's an easiest thing is saying, if I deliver you a exceptional service, would you, review me on one of these sites, and and basically say, hey, my business is built by word of mouth and positive reviews, and if you think I have earned your respect and earned your review, please review me. The other thing is ask when you complete the work or key milestones, meaning you might be in the middle of engagement, you've built their trust, it might be a new client, and you'll be surprised a lot of the new clients will be more prone to provide a nice 5-star review for you if you've exceeded all their expectations. I think it's a time when people don't, they might not feel comfortable about it. Set up operational touch points for reviews, and this is, how many places do you interact with your clients? So, obviously your website, but your email, so your email footers include review sites on your website, include the reviews. We'll talk about plugins and some other things in a little bit, but basically the more touch points you have and you include the review side, it's kind of, it's the old-fashioned way. We used to have a little sticker. It was our biggest selling product at Image One is I love referrals. We sold hundreds and hundreds of thousands of those, and everyone would put the sticker on the tax return or an outgoing thing, and it really helped generate. It was kind of a nice, clever way to ask for them. I think you need to do the same type of process in the online world. Use email technology, and with email technology, what we're talking about here is email is push technology, right? So you're able to push a message out to your entire database. We use a couple different formats of a kind of an email template, but it is generated literally thousands and thousands of reviews for our clients by asking in a very polite way with an email template, a very professional template, to review us or review our clients. And with this, we will selectively decide, okay, let's get reviews on TaxBuzz, or let's go to Gmail users for Google My Business. But it's definitely a way that email technology enables you to quickly attract and grow your review database. And this is kind of the most obvious, but get the entire team involved, right? So every touch point, whether you're trying to they're interacting in the lobby, if a phone call, any type of that, the more upfront you are with it, obviously the more likely people are going to add reviews that you may not have gotten otherwise. And then offer appropriate incentives. This is, some people have used kind of different promos and other things. It's totally up to you. Sometimes I think the organic way of generating leads is more appropriate, but some that want to be a little more aggressive, whether it be, leave a review and enter get a Starbucks card, something like that. But there's many different ways to use incentives to help to grow your review database.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you, Brad.
Yeah, thanks, Lee. Yeah, so, and just real quick back on that, and that email that you saw there, or you saw an example for Lina's tax team, we can send that for you as well. So if we have your, if you've uploaded your database with ClientWise, even if you're not a client, talk to us about that, through TaxBuzz. If we set you up there, that email that Lee has talked about, it, like he said, has generated thousands of reviews for clients. That email that we send on behalf of our clients. One of our top guys on TaxBuzz, who I showed, Jim Batten, got those 90 5-star reviews from that email that we sent out, and predominantly from that email that we sent out on his behalf. So, so the step number 4, responding. So let's say you've done step 1 and you've built out a great practice. You've done step 2, which is you've got a great online presence. Now you've asked for reviews and you're starting to get them. You're starting to see the reviews come in. What do? Well, first of all, the main thing you want to do is thank people, your clients. So, like in this example, if I could give her 10 stars, I would. So fantastic review. We see these every day through TaxBuzz and for our clients. Be sure to thank them. Now, she responded on the actual site that the review is on. You don't have to respond there. Just make sure that you make it a point to do so. So when next time you see the client in the office, hey, thanks so much for visiting my my TaxBuzz page. That was just a great review. I can't believe it. I'm so humbled. Thank you. Or send them an email or a handwritten note, or whatever. You be sure that you recognize what they did. sometimes it does take them time, obviously, to go to that site and get the review. So thank all of your reviewers, even if it's not all positive feedback. If there's something in there that you can respond to or something you want to clarify, you might want to do that as well. So if there's something, oh, hey, I didn't know that was an issue for you. Let's talk about that. What can I do to make that better? Or thank you for that feedback. I didn't know that our staff wasn't answering the phones. Thank you so much for letting me know. So be sure to respond to all reviews if you can, and be thankful and thank your clients who spent the time to do so. And they're going to be much more likely to do that again in the future. Now, so this is, again, one of the big fears, and we hear this. So we heard it from at least 2 out of those 3 5-star clients that I showed you their pictures. I won't tell you which ones, but 2 out of the 3 of them said, I don't want to ask for reviews because I'm afraid I'm going to get a negative one. Now, I've written a pretty extensive blog post on LinkedIn. You can check it out about some of these aspects. But there's a few reasons why you should not be fearing online reviews. One of them would be at some point you're going to get a review. So you can hide in the sand, you can try to avoid them, but you're going to get a review. You don't want that first review to be a 1-star review like Joe Schmo CPA here in any town. So make sure you get the positive reviews, and then if you do get a negative one, it looks like a one-off. But if you do get one, take a deep breath, relax. It's not the end of the world. So, and use caution. Don't fire off an email or threaten to sue them or threaten to sue the review site. In some cases, again, seek legal counsel. You may have some grounds for that, but in most cases, you shouldn't be, threatening and attacking and going on the, the offensive. You can thank them for the feedback, apologize for anything that seemed like it, you may have fallen short on. Try to work things out if you can. So maybe there was a misunderstanding. Oh, I didn't realize, or whatever. So we've seen that happen where clients have worked things out with the reviewer, and they've either taken the review off, which might be the best case, or they've raised the star rating or clarified or changed the review. That's something you can try to go for. And then obviously, if you do get a negative review, get more positive ones. That'll push those reviews down or push the negative one down. Again, it's not the end of the world. You shouldn't be fearful. When we help our clients get reviews, something like 90-some or 99% of the reviews that come back are positive. So you shouldn't fear this. If you've been in practice long enough, if you've served enough clients, you are going to get a review. So if you do get a negative one, don't stress out about it. We can help you as well. Okay, over to Lee for step number 5.
All right. So if you're going to put this much effort into building up your review database, it makes sense, obviously, that people can find it. So when people Google your brand name, most likely they're going to see the reviews. But if they're visiting your website or other areas, you want to promote it. You want to toot your horn, as we say. So there's different plugins that are available. You can do it with Yelp. We have one for TaxBuzz. But basically, a plugin is something your IT person could load onto your site that kind of real-time loads the reviews. And for us, we have like a little bit of a filter where you can say, okay, I only want the reviews that are 5 stars or 4 stars or whatever. But as the reviews come in, they're automatically updated. This is fresh content for your site and really gives the visitors a good idea of what you're all about. Another thing that we've seen some great success with is just sharing the snippets from the reviews on your social media site. And what you'll see is one review turns into multiple reviews. So you'll post a part of the review, and your social media side, your followers will say, you know what, I've had the same experiences, and it kind of helps a review get a little more viral impact. And obviously, any mentions on social media are good things for your brand. Use in email footers and display in any advertising. So this is kind of what we talked about earlier. The more you promote it, obviously, if we're using reviews to validate who you are and that it's not a sales pitch anymore, you're letting your clients speak for you, why not put it in as many places as possible? Yes, we do say print sometimes. So print copies of testimonials and online reviews for your office. They can be in a display in your lobby. When people are there, it's just something they can glance through. And again, it just validates to them that they are working with the best person. And overall, it helps the practice grow. Something that we're kind of experimenting with, some get it, some don't, is understanding how selfies and photos move virally across social media. And we have clients now who are starting to use some of our lobby campaigns Basically, they're almost visual testimonials of you, and basically it's a little sign, you know, the best tax deduction, or I love my accountant, those kind of things. You take photos with your clients, post them on social media, tag the client, and all their friends like seeing, you know, clever pictures with themselves. And we've seen some great results as far as sharing of kind of the selfie world, so to speak. We are going to go into more detail on the social accountant and how it works in our July webinar, but you know, that will be spoken about later. But I'm going to go ahead and turn it back over to Brad now.
Okay, and I'm going to skip over the polling part of this question in the essence of time. But this was just meant to, and no offense to H&R Block, if anybody is there, is on the call from there. But it's just sort of to demonstrate, and this is an extreme example, but you know, if you have some positive reviews, or likewise, if you put your hand in the sand and wait for bad ones, you know, these are the kind of evaluations that your potential clients are going to make. So in this case, you know, are you going to choose the place that has the 4 one-star reviews, all else being equal, and you read some of them, or are you going to choose somebody who's got 95-star and you read them and they all look legitimate and, you know, they're all great content about, you know, this particular professional? You know, again, it's obvious, but most, you know, 99.99% of folks are going to choose the guy on the right. So I'm going to skip past that. We also have some case studies. So if you go, and we can send you a link to this, or maybe we can post it here in the chat. Wendy, I don't know if you can find this one and maybe post this to chat, but it's just a case study for Karen Drescher, who was one of our clients who, again, a little bit hesitant to get reviews. She's got, at least on TaxBuzz, she's got 21 5-star reviews. She got very glowing comments that came back. She was just thrilled in her office. I mean, they were just like jumping up and down and thankful. And it's not like, you know, she obviously, as we said earlier, she has a 5-star practice. It just wasn't displaying completely online yet. It's not like, you know, that we created these reviews for her. She was a 5-star practice and then got the reviews to validate it. So there's more information on the case study if you want to go to our TaxBuzz news site, and you can read the TaxBuzz, the case study about CPA Karen Drescher. And we've got the, you know, Jim Batten and then also Lina's tax team. Again, fantastic 5-star practices who implemented all, if not more, of the steps we just talked about. Okay, so just to summarize and recap, we gave you some background, we gave you some practical steps, and we didn't go into really deep details, but you know, these are things that we talk about our clients every day, and we can help you with each one of these. It starts with you, build your core online brand, ask for reviews, respond, and then ultimately toot your own horn and display those. And so in particular, claim your profile. We can help you get reviews on your TaxBuzz profile and other sites. Build out your core marketing, and then set goals for yourself. You know, how many reviews do you want to get before tax season starts up or by the end of the year? You know, and then how are you going to get there? Implementing some of these steps. That would be a good thing for you to do as well after this webinar, is to decide, hey, how many reviews do I think I can get online, and set a goal for you and your team. And then, you know, enlist the help of somebody like ClientWise to help you as well. Okay, and so the last, I do want to ask this poll question. I'm going to do it and launch it right now. Again, it's a pretty easy question to answer. Would you like some help? Is there anything that we can do to help you? The poll question's open, so we can give you a complimentary review and audit of the reviews that you have out there, your core marketing. We can build out your profile on TaxBuzz. We can help you get more positive testimonials. And you know, it's just a short phone call or something like that, where we can go through with you your practice, your clients, the types of clients you want to attract, the services you want, and then let's figure out, you know, hey, are there ways that you can do that? You know, are we finding reviews for you? How are you ranking online? How is your website? How does it stand up? You know, are you doing things in email marketing? Are you doing things in social media? So beyond even reputation building, we can help in other ways. But you know, tell us what you'd like us to do. And so there are some people choosing, no, I like losing clients and getting 1-star reviews. It's a joke. You don't have to do this. This is obviously optional, but we are going to make you feel a little guilty if you choose the no option, okay? So that's the poll question. I'm going to go ahead and close it out, and we'll share the results. And you can see 95% of folks, yes, they like getting reviews and want some of our help to do so, okay? All right, so thank you. So we have some questions that have been coming in. we're going to go ahead and take a look at some of those and start answering some of those questions now. As I said, we do have a webinar coming up. It's July 27th, same time, same place, 11 a.m. We'll have more details. We'll email about that. We have a specific site now where we're going to post all of our reviews, or excuse me, all of our webinars that are coming up. So go ahead and look out for more information on that. And the title, this is sort of a working title, but How to Become a Social Accountant. And Lee gave you a little bit of a preview of some of what might go on in that webinar. And then, as I promised, so we're going to have some offers and giveaways. So thank you so much for all of you who have attended. We have lots of great questions coming in. We're going to get to some of them right now. But if you've been active, if you asked questions, if you voted in the polls, we got 10 gift cards coming to you your way, and we'll let you know. We'll email you if you are one of the lucky 10 who participated. We also have a promotion. So you can get 20% off the first 3 months of any new service, or if you're a new client, if you sign up with us for one of our monthly marketing package, we're going to give you 20% off. There are some restrictions. These offers do expire very soon on June 30th here, which is coming up. But if you do sign up before then, and we use this code, the coupon code WEB20, you'll get 20% off the first 3 months for a new service. So if you're an existing client and you want to add a new monthly subscription, so let's say you want us to help you with your SEO, we have some SEO packages, or if you want us to help you with social media, we have a more, a package there. If you want to help you with somebody asked, how do I, get out on all those directories and make sure my information is correct? Somebody had asked that one of the questions. We can help there too. And if you're not not an existing client and you have a new package, we can do that as well. We already have $100 off right now for TaxBuzz Pro, and we also have a promotion right now where we'll waive any setup fee. So those are the offers. Okay, so I think that's it. So I'm going to go back to the question. So I'm going to kick it off here. Actually, Lee, do you want to go ahead and answer that one question that you had just highlighted?
Well, there's a few here. Let me see here. So Gary Plumtree asked, with word of mouth, you kind of know you will get referrals close to the clients that we already have and the type we want, but how does the website screen out those not wanted? So I think there's a, and then he added, I have a positive image, just want a certain type of client. And I think usually the answer to that is not just the website that's helping screen it out. It's the couple different things. It's a unique selling proposition that you've created. So meaning if you're looking for a specific type of client, whether it be high net worth, whether it be churches, whether it be entertainment, franchise businesses, you're already starting to position yourself with the type of reviews that you're going to get, that they're going to be like those type of clients. The second thing I think you'll find is usually high net worth people are hanging out with high net worth people on social media, and most likely they're in your general area. So there is a local component to this. So this is the question. The answer to your question is much bigger than just reviews. It's more of a marketing consulting type question. But I think it's everything from geographic location driven. It's on social media, what influencers, what type of followers you have. And then it goes to the branding, positioning yourself. What are you saying in your marketing copy? What is your website speaking to? Those are areas, or those are ways that you can help filter out the type of people that you will attract. And again, that is something we can talk about offline in a bigger kind of consultation part. But that's kind of my quickest read on that question.
Okay. Okay, and then there's a couple of quick questions I'm going to answer here. So there's a question about Canadian firms on TaxBuzz. There may be some firms. It's predominantly, though, those who help U.S. taxpayers. At some point in the future, we may launch similar sites in other markets like Canada, but right now it's designed. So we do have expat tax professionals who help, expats abroad. But Lee, is that good response to that one?
I'm good with that. We're trying to own this
market
first, and then we'll worry about the next one next.
Yes. There are more than 500,000 tax professionals here in the United States, so that's a good start. The other question I saw here was, or it was more of a comment. So Frank said he's cost sensitive, and that's exactly why we design our packages the way we do. We have very cost-effective programs because we know that firms are small. Sometimes they have small marketing budgets, but there are a lot of things we can do, and you can compare us to anything else that's out there. But I will tell you, you won't find as much in terms of what we do for the cost. So it does start at $69 a month. You can have a really great core marketing. We help you with reputation. We help you with your website. We help you with social media. There's all kinds of things, and it goes up from there. We have a $2.99 a month package as well. We usually, for our packages, we don't have any long-term contracts. It is month to month, and hey, you got that 20% discount right there, Frank, to get started on anything we talked about. And then there was a couple of questions related to, so somebody said something about rip-off report, and then somebody else, was talking about, building websites to counteract bad reviews and things like that. So there are, and we had, and on one of my LinkedIn posts, I also had a similar type of a question. Look, there are sometimes really bad things can happen and get with your name in the news or reviews or things like that. And some of those kind of require a little more intensity. And so, setting up, but the main thing I'll say about that is just, as I said in step number 2, make sure you have a strong online presence. And then with step number 3, make sure you have lots and lots of positive reviews out there on the internet, because nature abhors a vacuum. And if you wait until lots of bad things happen, that's what people are going to see and nothing else. So our core kind of tips and strategies go into play there too. But there are some sites and news sites and things where you may not be able to get that off the internet, so to speak, and you'll have to come up with lots of other things that show up in Google ahead of the thing that you want to get rid of. But Lee, I don't know if you have any other comments on that.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is kind of the whole premise of why an online reputation is important. You want to control as much as you can what happens when someone does a branded search, meaning they're searching your name on Google. What is showing? You want your website to show number 1. You should have a bio on your website, so like at our team, or your bio should be number 2. And then after that should be either your social sites or your review sites, and with lots of 5-star reviews. So meaning when someone Googles you, you want recognized brands, your website, which you control the message, right? There's hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people in our profession that don't have a website at all. And when someone Googles their name, yeah, what does Google think is the biggest authority site? It might be Rip-Off Report with one crazy person who left you a 1-star review. And I think the overall, I'm not going to get into online reputation management and all that. There's businesses that do that, and the reality is you don't need them if you were proactively optimizing your website. You're proactively active on social media, had all your social media profiles built out, and you were attracting reviews, because out of that you probably have 6 big-time brand names, your LinkedIn profile, your Facebook page, and those are the kind of things that push kind of a 1-star or a bad thing off the page. And it's it can be difficult, but that's kind of the whole premise of what we do and kind of what works. But that I would add that.
Okay, and then so a couple other quick ones. So somebody had asked, how should one respond to a negative review from a non-client who commented on price, and the person did not use our service? And so so going back to one of the professionals that we showed, one of our clients is a 5-star practice. She actually, she had something like 80 5-star reviews, and she got a bad review, or a quote unquote, and you call it a negative review, but it was on price, just like Michael's question here. Thank you, Michael. But she was actually fine with it, because the person was, basically complaining about price for a survey, so I don't know, I can't remember what it was, if she had a lot of back taxes, or it was a pretty, it was more than your average tax return, let's put it that way. And so she was complaining that, the cost was high, and she actually liked having that review there, because that sort of, and we talked about this earlier, sort of self-selection, of client base, and it allows you to become more selective. And again, I don't think you should use this as a strategy to go out and get negative reviews about price. But sometimes it's okay, if you have lots of positive reviews, for someone to say, they were a little more expensive than I wanted to pay. Well, that may not have been a client that you even want to offer. So hopefully, and someone was replying. I don't know if I got cut off, Lee, on my response on that. If you heard that or not, but why don't you go ahead and respond if some of my response got cut off?
No, you didn't. It was all there.
Okay. All right, so that was the one on price, and then there was another one on asking permission. Yes. So somebody, thank you, Judy, a great question. Yeah, you know, if you are going to put somebody's, now for the ones that are on the internet though, like so if somebody places a review on TaxBuzz, as Lee said, we have a plugin where that automatically gets posted to your website. If it's more of a testimonial from a client, or if you're going to use it not on the site that they placed it on, so if you're going to like copy and paste it into your site, or if you're going to use it in advertising, we did mention that, but if you're going to use it in advertising, please do get permission from your client to use that testimonial or use that review. And it's just a nice thing to do anyway. But in most cases, if it's an online, you know, public review, it shouldn't be an issue for you to just, you know, have a plug-in from Yelp or TaxBuzz or any other site or Google where you display that review that that client left for you on your site. Okay, and somebody asked
Brad,
a question about, we have some questions about, go ahead.
I was going to go Jordan Hensley's question. We don't know much about SEO. What do we need to know specifically about SEO? That's a whole webinar in itself. But I think the important thing to know, and Jordan, we definitely can talk to you offline. The important thing to know is it takes much more than a website to get ranked. The way search works now, and again, being in places where your clients are, so meaning being in the social media sites, having these reviews, having your on-page SEO on your website. So it's a little technical, but basically, you know, are all the meta titles, descriptions, is the copy written correctly, is the website designed correctly? So on-page SEO is big factor number one, and then it goes into off-page SEO, and that's things like how many reviews do they have, how many social mentions do they have a lot of inbound links, you know, how active are they as far as social media followers, things like that. So it's a very complex, ever-changing algorithm. Anyone who tells you, oh, we're going to get you guaranteed on page one is probably a complete ripoff. It's a much bigger game, and you kind of need to understand that the algorithm changes probably twice a day. And in order to be long-term, you know, get long-term success, you need to do, you know, what's obvious is create good content, attract good reviews, and be active, and, you know, be out there. Don't be afraid to put your brand out there. Influencers now rule the world. Like it or not, there's certain influencers that we're all, you know, tired of, but they know how to play the game. And if you want to grow your practice and business, you need to start looking at it a little bit more. But Jordan, I think that's another webinar and perhaps a consultation with one of our experts.
Yeah, please do. If you didn't already, Jordan, you know, click on the would you like some help, then we'll definitely follow up with you on that. And we also had some questions about social media. Again, that's next month's webinar. SEO will definitely be the subject of a webinar, and we have lots of blog articles on that, as Lee said. There was another question that actually came in before the webinar started, and it was around, I don't have it in front of me, but the question was, you know, I think a client gave me a bad review. How do I go find out if he or she did or not? There's some monitoring tools that we have or that we can put you in touch with if you have that question. You can also just search, obviously, for your name, for your business name. You could search for your phone number on Google. You can go to Yelp and TaxBuzz and Angie's List and Google, and you know, if we can help, you know, take a look at that for you as well. If you do want us to find, you know, sort of your audit of the reviews that are out there for your business. And let's see here. So there was one other one that I wanted to go. Somebody had asked about, John had asked about Manta. Again, that's more along the lines of the SEO, probably, webinar and getting your business out there. I think that's, Lee, if there's any other questions that you see that we want to address right away, I think that's, thank you, Robert, for the great compliment. Let's see. Any other questions you see there, Lee, that we want to address? And if you have any, we still have a few more minutes that we'll take.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
What I've been doing is direct responsing, and then I think we can direct response some of these as well. Samuel Parker asked a question about green address bars, and it kind of goes into SSL security and certs and all that kind of stuff. I believe if you're a big brand, that is something you would look at. I don't know if the expense is worth it for, you know, a small local business, as long as you have SSL security. And there's all these different certs they have out there. There's businesses that sell these certs, and that's how they make money. But at the end of the day, I don't think, you know, if you had 100 people visiting, you know, my guess is that is not going to be a factor that would keep someone from choosing you. But again, some of these questions, you know, how good is Manta? That's from John Ellis. You know, Manta is a business directory site. We believe in consistency across all directory sites. It's considered citations and mentions of your brand, and the more consistent your name, address, phone number, your contact info is across the web, the higher your website or your brand will be ranked. And the reason that is, it gives more validity or trust, I guess, to Google that this is a legitimate brand, that we're, in the Google results, I'm showing the correct information. They don't want to have bad user experiences. So businesses that move or have, multiple addresses or multiple firm names across the internet and these directory sites, that is bad. It is one of the biggest factors as far as improving your ranking is cleaning up your directories and your citations. So yeah, a lot of these sites are all beneficial, and we usually try to kind of tackle them all.
Okay. And unless there are any other questions, you got another quick 30 seconds. If anybody has any other questions, otherwise we will thank you. And I did also just via the chat there's a link that you can go to. So myself or Steve Anderson, who's our head of our business development, he very experienced as well, has been working with professional practices for a long time, very experienced in digital marketing. He would be a great resource for you to go to and get more information, to get that audit of your practice. So I just sent a link. It's just at demo.clientwise.com/appointments. Demo.clientwise.com/appointments. You can book a meeting with us directly, and that's using our ClientWise scheduling tool, by the way.